If you're in the market for a pre-built external hard drive, I wouldn't act so fast. Enclosures like this one from Inateck allow you to easily use your own 2.5-inch hard drive or solid-state drive and upgrade whenever you want. But are enclosures like this a lot more complicated than some like external hard drive from Seagate or like this one from Western Digital? Well, the answer really is no. It's actually pretty simple to hook up this external enclosure with a 2.5-inch hard drive or solid-state drive. By the way, I got Mavi up here. He's helped me out in my review. But yeah, on top of this enclosure, of course, you'll need a 2.5-inch hard drive or solid-state drive. Like in there right now, I have my 2.5-inch SanDisk Ultra Plus 128GB solid-state drive. And basically just the same 2.5-inch drive you'd get on inside a desktop or a laptop. Pretty simple stuff. Actually, mostly laptops, I guess, because laptops usually use 2.5-inch drives. So once you got the drive, the hard drive or solid-state drive, once you do that, just pop the enclosure open like I just did. You basically just slide it open. Slide the hard drive or solid-state drive into place. Use the included screws. You get 4 screws on the bottom and then 2 screws on the front right there to screw it into the enclosure. And basically, you're pretty much set to go. Once you do that, you got to plug in the USB 3.0 cable and the power cable that you need on this enclosure. But the cool thing is, of course, they give you the cables. That's the USB 3.0 data cable. And then the power cable, on one end, it's just like a normal power jack, as you can see. If my camera will fucking focus. But on the computer end, it actually just uses another USB 2.0 port, which is pretty awesome. So you don't actually need to pull out a plug or anything. You just plug it in your computer. And if you have a desktop, it's not even an issue at all because desktops have so many USB ports. If your drive hasn't been formatted yet, you might have to go through the various menus in Windows or Mac to actually format the drive for storage use. But that's a pretty simple process with a lot of tutorials online, so don't really worry about that too much. Once you do have that set up, and the drive is pretty much ready to go. Now, apparently Inateck thought this process was so simple that they didn't even include any instructions inside this little box. I mean, I understand that this drive enclosure isn't rocket science, but I would like maybe a little bit of tips, because the first time I tried to open this, I didn't know, do you slide this? No, you pull this out. I didn't know that the first time, dang it. So, there's some instructions, man. Now that said, the part of this review you're probably waiting for is the transfer speeds. And well, I have pretty good news and I have some bad news, I guess, as well. I recorded some incredible speeds considering that this enclosure uses USB 3.0. That's probably because this enclosure supports UASP transfer protocol, which according to Inateck is 70% faster than traditional USB 3.0. So yeah, apparently that's why it's so much faster. But the fact is, even my new solid-state drive I bought for this review, that SanDisk Ultra Plus drive, really wasn't fast enough to max out those speeds. For this test, I used a SanDisk Ultra Plus 128GB SSD for this review, which maxes out at about 530 megabytes per second read and 290 megabytes per second write. So writing some videos from my OS solid-state drive to this SanDisk, I noticed about 250 megabyte per second transfer speed, which isn't too bad. That gets right pretty much up close to the rated speed of my solid-state drive. And really, it might just be my OS drive that's slowing me down, to be honest. And then moving some videos from my SanDisk in the enclosure to my OS solid-state drive, I noticed about 700 megabytes per second average. And at times, Windows actually showed 1 gigabyte per second. That's probably a glitch with Windows, but damn, that is fucking fast. So regardless, I was pretty impressed with this enclosure, and considering that I was using a somewhat budget solid-state drive, this 128 gig solid-state drive was only 60 bucks. So like a Samsung drive would probably perform better in it, but I was pretty impressed with it, to be honest. So moving back to the device, it has a nice blue indicator right there, which is kind of cool. It kind of blinks whenever the drive is in use, so that's pretty awesome, I think. Now, one issue I did find with this enclosure is the absence of any rubber feet on the bottom. It's basically just plastic, and there's no rubber feet on either side of it, so basically, that's bad for 2 reasons. One, of course, it'll maybe slide off your computer or slide off your desk pretty easily, especially if you're trying to pull the cords and the cords really aren't quite long enough. So that's kind of crappy if the drive falls down. Of course, if you're using a hard drive, that might break it. If you're just using a solid state drive, it'll scuff up the plastic on the enclosure, which kind of sucks. So I kind of wish Inateck did put rubber feet on there. I mean, it's not really a deal breaker, but I hate whenever my drive accidentally falls off my desk. I mean, like I said, especially if it's a hard drive, because I've actually had failures before. I've actually had troubles with this drive. If you guys can see a couple scuff marks, and this has rubber feet in the bottom, so I guess I'm just terrible with drives probably, but you know, if you're using a hard drive, it might not be too good if, you know, it's falling off every time you're trying to use it. But you know, all in all, this enclosure worked really nicely in almost every area I tested, especially transfer speeds, considering the solid state drive I was using on it. It was pretty awesome. Like I said, I would have liked to have some instructions with this enclosure, and on top of that, some damn plastic feet, or rubber feet I guess, just to keep it from sliding off. That would be great, and to not scuff it up and anything. But I can't complain about too much about this enclosure beyond that. It's pretty great. Inateck really made a product that works practically, doesn't break the bank, and it looks good too. I mean, that's pretty good in my book. So if you're looking for a solid enclosure that, you know, just works, looks nice, and I mean, like, it's upgradable and everything, all that cool stuff, then pick up this inateck FE2003, which is the model number, by the way. And finally, I should let you guys know at this point in the review that I did get this enclosure from Inateck free of charge, which was pretty cool. Thank you, Inateck, for doing that. I also want you guys to know that I'm definitely not biased in my reviews at all. In fact, like, if a company ever emailed me and they were like, hey, you know, our product hasn't really been getting good reviews and we know there's a problem with it, can you just, like, not tell the people about that? I would go like, no, fuck you guys, I'm gonna tell these people about these problems. I mean, if they want to send me a product, I'll be glad to talk about it. But if they want me to lie about their product, fuck no. So with that disclaimer said, I hope you guys found this review helpful. Let me know in the comments, is this enclosure something you guys are actually looking for? Or is, like, a pre-built hard drive the more thing you're looking for? Because I'll tell you what, I'm sure they sell a lot more Western Digital My Passport hard drives pre-built than these enclosures. Because, I mean, some people just don't like the hassle. Really, in all reality, it isn't much of a hassle at all. And I like it so much because there's a big selection of USB 3.0 hard drives in the market. There's a huge selection, but there really isn't that big of a selection of external solid-state drives. Of course, internal are everywhere, but it's hard to find an external without going to a flash drive. I don't want to get a flash drive because transfer speeds are typically slower in flash drives. So if you're looking to get an external solid-state drive, an enclosure like this one is definitely the way to go. It's fast as hell. Damn. Anyways, I don't want to make this review too long, so thanks for stopping by. Before you leave, let me know if this review was pretty damn cool, or if it really wasn't that great, by leaving a like or dislike on the video, respectively. Of course, if you liked it, put a like on there. If you didn't like it, drop me a dislike and let me know what's wrong with the review. Not enough cats? I got a cat right there. Damn it. And I got a cat back here too. What do you want? No, I'm just fucking with you guys. But anyways, oh shit, I think I fucked up my tripod. So yeah, now I guess you guys can leave my video. Thanks for stopping by. I really appreciate you checking out. Or you can watch this outro that's about to come up. Or you can watch the outro and then click on the video in the outro and watch that video. And then you can watch the video in the outro of the outro. Wait, what? I should probably just end this video right now. See you guys. Right here, the SATA power. Whoops, let me get closer. SATA power, SATA data right there. So you just hook that up. Looks pretty simple to me. So like, there's the inside. I guess it just